I'm Angela, and I wanted to share with you my story and how I became a Beachbody coach. Uh, I have been a coach for 1.5 years. I've been married to my husband for 17 years and have 2 teenagers and a 4-year-old. And before I became a coach, I was very, very broken inside. I had become a very depressed person. I resented my husband for his job. He went from the military to law enforcement and loved it very much, which I had a hard time dealing with. And started gaining weight, started eating, then started getting more depressed and always crying in my closet, running around my room frantically with the door shut when my husband wanted to take me out or go out somewhere with friends because I couldn't find anything that fit right or that I felt good in. It's a terrible feeling to have when your husband wants to put his arms around you and you get grossed out and push him away because you don't want him to touch your rolls, because that's very embarrassing. And I had always been a small person my whole life, and I started gaining weight and not really sure knowing how or why. I started having anxiety problems, which medication was not helping. So I had become a very miserable person in my own house. My children had a hard time being around me. My husband and I stopped talking and communicating. We became roommates basically for several years. And it took my husband leaving for me to realize that there needed to be some major changes. He was absolutely ready to get a divorce. He thought the love was gone and that we just needed to move on. And at that moment, I realized that I was going to lose my husband and the person that I fell in love with, that I was going to grow old with, if I didn't do something drastically. I started doing some reading and some praying and realized that I really had become a terrible person, and that's not who I was. And I wanted that happy and go lucky and spunky Angela back, and everyone else did too, I'm pretty sure. So at that point, I found an acquaintance of ours who is my coach and my very dear friend, and I am so grateful for her every single day. She introduced me to Beachbody and their products and a challenge group. So I dove right in. My husband and I worked out enough to where he believed I was ready to make some changes. So therefore he was ready to make some changes, and he came home and supported me in my first challenge group, and I dove right in. I could not believe how I felt. I started feeling happier. The positivity and the encouragement from the group completely changed my life. It was exactly what I needed. And the results I was getting was amazing. And everybody around me saw it. They could tell the difference in just even me as a person and how I acted and responded towards people. I had became a discount coach originally because I fell in love with Shakeology and I needed it to fit into my budget. So I became a discount coach. But after everybody was coming to me and asking me what I was doing and that I just looked radiant and they could tell that I was different, I was so excited. I was sharing with them exactly what I was doing and very excited about it. So as I was going on with this business, I realized that there was a really big opportunity here, bigger than I was imagining. I had been a direct salesperson in the past. I've sold makeup, I've sold jewelry, I've sold chocolate. And it was all direct sales. Really not any fun. I got tired of being away at home all the time for having home parties. After maybe 6 months to a year of doing something with one company, I would quit because that wasn't what I wanted. I didn't want to be gone even more away from my family because I worked full time too. And I'm a mom. I need to be there for my kids. So this I found was so different because all I was doing was sharing my excitement and my love for something that I found that helped me so much. And I wanted to see it help other people. So realizing that this was so different and that it was a relationship building business, I started learning more about it. I was more excited about learning about it. And to be honest, it has completely repaired my marriage. I learn constantly all those things that I wish everybody would remember how it's like. Everyone knows what it's like when you first get together, but they lose some of that, and it's work. It doesn't just happen. So we focus on the very important little things that are so important to keep our marriage going and to be happy in it and to have a happy family. And if it wasn't for being a Beachbody coach, I wouldn't have learned all those things in that way. So I am so incredibly thankful every day for that. And now my husband and I talk about the plans that we have and the visions that we have. I started being able to dream again. Instead of just thinking, you know what, we're going to be stuck in a rut and it's just not in our cards. So we're going to always live paycheck to paycheck for the rest of our lives. And that's just the way it's going to be because of the jobs that we've chosen, preschool teacher and law enforcement officer. And you know what? It doesn't have to be that way at all. All my kids want to do, my 16-year-old daughter, is to go on an airplane ride. I am going to make that happen. I am going to take my family on trips to see different parts of the world, cultures that you can't learn and get from out of textbooks, to really appreciate what the world has to offer and learn how to give to others as I am trying to help serve other people in other ways that we can give and serve other people. My husband and I, for years, have had a dream to build a youth community in our little town of Lake Havasu, because we've never had anything like that here. And everybody talks about it all over town, but nobody has the finances to build anything like that. We are going to make that happen. That is the first big thing that we're going to give back to our community and supply jobs for people and a safe place for families and teenagers and little kids and really make it right. Make it a lot of fun. We're so excited about that. The financial stress that my husband and I have had for so long, I want that to disappear. I am going to give my husband an option to retire when he's ready. Not when the government says it's time, but when he says it's time. A life where we can travel and see things together. And all the things that he wants to be able to do that we've talked about since we got together and we're dating. But our dreams died because we felt so stuck. Almost 40 years old, I didn't think we were going to be able to ever get out of that lifestyle. But I know that it can happen. And we work hard every single day to make that happen while we are helping other people, which is an amazing, amazing feeling. So that is my story and that is my vision.